Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Nick and Knarf, two brothers in Tucson, bringing you great music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, and sometimes before, and
sometimes later.
Meanwhile, we're here just trying to get a little bit of airtime and hope that you guys will like us.
And care for your ears, which is what we try to do with every single video.
Remember who said that? Jimi Hendrix.
That's right. I saw Jimi Hendrix at the Hollywood Bowl in 1967. Or 68, I remember one of those 2 years, and he was on stage, and as he was tuning, he kept saying that to the audience, I'm doing this only because I care for your ears. So I've always loved that line, and I brought it on as our little theme line, too. But today we got some great stuff. Nick's going to tell you about it. Who are we doing today,
Well,
Nicky?
we're doing the daveclarkfive, and I'm feeling glad all over that we're doing it. Now, these were the British Invasion, obviously, band that came to the U.S., and a lot of us really liked them. You know that they appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show 18 times, more than any other British invasion band there was.
Can you believe that?
And they were the ones who knocked off the Beatles off the number one chart they held in England. It's the only time they did it. They knocked off I Want to Hold Your Hand.
In 1964, I Want to Hold Your Hand was the number one tune.
And these guys did
Glad All Over, knocked it off the number one position.
Yeah, and then these guys did 14 albums in 7 years, from 64 to 70. Wow. 7 years, they did 14 studio albums. I think Frank sent me a documentary one time.
12 top 40 hits in the UK from 64 to 67, 17 records in the top 40 in the US in that same time.
Yeah.
So they were big, they were hot, and like Nick said, I never realized they were on the Ed Sullivan Show 18 times.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
They formed in 58, but they didn't make it really big until they got lead singer Mike Smith. Mike Smith was the guy that, you hear him do all the lead singing now. And they also had Lenny Davidson, Denis Payton, Rick Huxley, and Dave Clark, of course. Dave Clark was the producer, the drummer, and for a period after they broke up from I think it was the early 80s to the late 90s, he held their song rights and would not allow any of their music to be published or purchased commercially. It was really kind of weird.
I hope we're not going to have trouble with this video when I upload it. I mean, if you're not seeing this, it doesn't matter. But if you are, that means we got it through somehow. But I would, because some artists do and some don't. Most of them are cool about everything. So hopefully this one will come through. But they had some really memorable hits in that short time. Really British sounding, really sort of semi-Mersey beat, old rhythm and blues, rock, and they did some lovely ballads too. Some really lovely ballads.
Yeah, and Frank, we were kind of cracking up as we were going over the song list. They have a couple of songs under 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
A lot of them. Minute 58, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Well, it was AM radio at the time. That was it. That was the recipe for a hit single in the 60s.
But don't you think they were smart for being on the Ed Sullivan Show 18 times in those, let's say, 4 or 5, 6 years?
Absolutely.
That's smart, man. Record sales, free advertising, that's for sure.
They were clean cut. They played good music, and they didn't give Ed Sullivan a lot of crap by singing naughty stuff like the Stones did and the Doors did. At the time, it was considered naughty. I mean, now we consider it like absolutely weak compared to then. But anyway, we hope you're going to enjoy what you hear, and we invite you, please, if you like what you're going to hear today, please subscribe. Consider it if you haven't. It's easy. It's fun. Hit the notification bell so you know when we do our videos. It gets you access to all of our content. We do our choice cuts where we do some special single gems from different album sources and soundtracks and all kinds of neat stuff to like to bring up and share with people. Hit the like icon for us. That spreads the word. And share with your friends. Let them know about Nick and Knarf. And all the rest of you, we love you for all your support, and we thank you. Yeah. So we are going to get into it with the daveclarkfive, with the song that started it all off, knocking the Beatles off their number one perch. This is Glad All Over.
Glad all over, baby, I'm glad all over.
Yeah. That was a
Gee, what an outro.
Hey, that one might have taken over the Beatles because that was considered an extended song. 2 minutes and 48 seconds on that one.
But it's so good. I like that part. Other girls, they try to take me away.
It is catchy. I mean, their stuff was really catchy. And the thing about their sound was that they were like in your face. They were like screaming in the song, like, oh, yeah, man, the bits and pieces. You know, it was like edgy. You look at them, they're in like these nice suits.
I know.
You know, with these haircuts. And then they're like screaming away.
Guys,
you know? But
yeah.
you wouldn't think it was the same from looking at them over there. But, you know, Nick was going to mention that documentary on the Dave Clark 5.
Yeah.
I saw it. It was really an interesting show. And it talked about how Dave Clark was really like a player on the music scene in early 1960s London. And he was very music friendly. I think he helped a lot of bands get started. He helped them with productions. And he was a big dude.
He was a big player
over there in England at the time. But anyway, what did you guys think of Glad All Over? Isn't that a hot, fun song? It's just a good time British invasion song.
I'm sure a lot of you guys our age remember seeing them on Ed Sullivan. I mean, you know, whenever we knew that there was going to be one of these British invasion acts on Ed Sullivan, man, we'd all make sure and be in front of the TV.
We were there for all of them. I remember we watched all of them because we watched Ed Sullivan every week.
The Animals. I mean, you know, you can go on and on, but anyway, it was a great song.
Well, leave us your comments. Let us know what you think. Okay, now we're going to go into to show you what a kind of a softer side of them they have. They wrote a couple of really lovely ballads. One was Everybody Knows, and this one here called Because. I know you're going to enjoy it. It's beautiful. Here they are, Dave Clark 5.
It's right that I should care about you and try to make you happy when you're blue. It's right to feel the way I do because I love you.
Sounds like a Jerry pacemaker.
It's wrong to say I don't think of you, 'cause when you say these things, you know it makes me blue. Give me one kiss and I'll be happy. Just to be with you. Give me a chance to be near you because I love you. Give me one kiss and I'll be happy. Just to be with you. Give me a chance to be near you because I love you. Because I love you.
Could have been an Everly Brothers song. I mean, Jerry and the Pacemakers. So
I was
good.
going to say that song, first of all, it's quintessentially romantically 60s. It sounds so 60s. But you're right. Who could have sung that song? Chad and Jeremy.
Chad and Jeremy.
Who's the other two guys? Chad and Jeremy, and then
Shaq and Kobe.
Shaq and Kobe. Peter and Gordon. It could have been, like he said, it could have been Everly Brothers. It could have been a woman singer. It could have been Leslie Gore or Dusty Springfield. That's a song that looks like, okay, this one's out for the highest bidder. Who wants it, you know? But the Dave Clark 5 got it, and they did a wonderful job with it, you know, adding their instrumentation, just that little bit of organ and the slight guitar work and that nice tempo, that don't, that really
And
added to the song.
that kind of a low harmony. It's not an easy harmony to do, a low harmony sometimes, to try to fit in with the notes that are playing on either the
I think they
keyboard
play
or
that song just right. The right kind of tone, the right kind of vocal quality, the right kind of pace in the song.
And they went up a half step, didn't they?
Yeah, that lovely half step, and then that coming down a step from when the music goes up.
Very tasty. That's a very tasty
lovely song. What did you guys see? I mean, the guys could do that too. So that's why they were popular too. They didn't just crank out the rock and screaming songs, and they did a lot of covers of late 50s music and other early 60s music, but they could also do these beautiful love ballads. Anyway, leave us your comments.
Boy, Chad and Jeremy.
Chad and Jeremy
good
could do
names,
it too.
man. Good names coming out of there.
A lot of those bands
Gordon.
Peter and Gordon, all those guys could have done this one. Okay, this is our last selection today in our tribute to the Dave Clark Five. Another one of their big hits, a real jumper, a fun one, kind of like you can imagine this being like a music video and them being in it and then being chased by girls or something, but the title of the song is a well-known one. It was one of the big hits. It's Catch Us If You Can.
Yeah, they did a movie. Catch Us If You Can.
Here they come again. Catch us if you can. Time to get a move on. We will yell with all of our might. Catch us if you can. 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 Now we gotta run. No more time for fun. When we're getting angry,
Sharks.
we will yell with all of our might. Catch us if you can. Catch us if you can. Catch us if you can. Catch us if you can.
Scream. Beatles here sounds like the Beatles, doesn't it?
Here they come again. Catch us if you can. Time to get a move on. We will yell with all of our might. Catch us if you can. Catch us if you can. Catch us if you can. Catch us if you can.
Their outro sucked. But I mean, that's a good song.
It's fun stuff. Come on, admit it. I mean, aren't you jumping when? I mean, you saw us. I'm going nuts on it because it's just catchy and engaging.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's kind of not mindless 60s music, but it's that fun, innocent, playful. I mean, it could have been the soundtrack from the Monkees. It's the start of the Monkees song. Catch us if you can.
Good point. That's a great one. Yeah.
It was sort of that energy that was coming a lot with some of the British invasion bands. Okay, other of them were in a different place, like the Stones, and some other way, playing heavier stuff.
Kinks.
But these guys were, the Kinks. Kinks were playing all kinds of eclectic stuff.
Yeah.
But Dave Clark they kind of stayed at a range where they stayed pop and mainstream. They pumped stuff up with some power, and then they softened it up with some ballads too.
I don't think though we ever bought their records, did we?
No.
Yeah, we didn't.
I got the greatest hits when I was putting my music collection back together.
You had this thing,
about a decade
it's like,
ago.
who were the best? The Beatles, the Stones, the Dave Clark Five. You had people, and then you would kind of like, well, if they weren't the Beatles, I wasn't going to buy the record. I don't think we bought a Stones album in the beginning for quite a while.
Oh, gosh. I don't know what my first Stones record was. Yeah, because they were played on the radio so much. I mean, and I don't know why. I guess I heard them so much that I didn't buy a lot. But I mean, we bought a lot of Beatles albums, obviously. A lot of Beatles albums.
All of them.
I think I did buy, I might have gotten Hot Rocks with the greatest hits in 1970. It had a lot of stuff on there. But then I started buying
these
the solo albums.
These guys,
later.
I would never buy. I never buy one of their albums because they're the ones that knocked off the Beatles off of "I Want to Hold Your Hand." I didn't like that.
Don't forget, back in the '60s, a lot of stuff was one-hit wonder stuff, and they would spread out a hit or two over 3 or 4 albums because they wanted you to buy the albums to hear the hit, right? So they wouldn't load up an album with a bunch of great songs like some other bands where you hear like one album's got like 5 hits on it. No, they wanted you to buy, okay, for this one album, you got to buy this. I mean, for that one hit song, you got to buy this album. For the second hit song, you got to buy the second album. So that was part of the strategy to get people to buy. Plus, people were buying singles. You bought little, the
That's
45s,
right.
You
That's
didn't buy albums back then. It's kind of similar to what's going on now with streaming. Now people aren't even making albums. You're just downloading tracks and assembling your own
and
stuff.
But
Dave Clark 5 was really big at the time.
They were huge. They were huge.
62 to 60 or 64 to 67,
and they
68.
were consistently good, which was what's surprising.
Yeah.
I thought they were kind of corny when they first came out, and I didn't like any band that had a guy's name on it. Like Dave Clark 5. But Steve Miller. There's a few others that just drove me crazy. But you couldn't help but like the fact that they wrote good stuff and it was catchy.
That's right. The fun stuff is really fun and engaging and catchy. They've got a good dozen songs that are absolutely memorable. And they got some other hits too, but they aren't as big as the ones that are famous for. But what did you guys think of the Dave Clark 5 and our selections?
What do you think?
Yeah, leave us your comments. Let us know. We'd love to have a dialogue with you about your thoughts, your experiences. Where were you when you watching? Were you watching Ed Sullivan like we were? Did you see him on reruns of Ed Sullivan? Or have you ever heard of Dave Clark 5? Have you never heard of him? And what did you think? Share it with us. And be sure, if you haven't and you loved what you heard, because we're caring for your ears, subscribe, like, and share. Tell your friends about us. And for the rest of the family, we love you out there, family. You are our tribe, and we appreciate all your love and support. Anyway, Nikki and I are signing off for another episode of Nick and Knarf, and we'll see you next time.
Love you, Caden.
Yeah, love y'all. Peace out. Ciao, Bumby.